Hello and welcome back to the Exclude Magazine YouTube platform. As ever, I'm your host Jack, and today we are going to run through the reveal from today from Medicom Toys, which is of the Ben Reilly MAFEX figure. Now, this did come alongside the Nightfall Batman MAFEX, which is also covered. You may have already seen it, depending on the order in which I upload these videos. If you haven't seen it, then it is up on our channel, so do go and check that out if Batman is more your thing. But I'm guessing by the fact you clicked on the video that you are here to learn all about this Ben Reilly MAFEX figure. So just going to take you through the basics, what we know so far. It's early days, really. So the day started with this image, which is the magazine scan from retailers over in the East, in the Asian market. So Japan, I think originally is where this came from. Again, this is generally how it goes when we're dealing with Medicom. You always get the magazine scan. Those guys always seem to get the jump on Medicom themselves when it comes to the official reveal. That does also mean that Medicom are never far behind with their official reveals on their website. So as the day progressed, we went from this image here. We then started to see images like this, which we covered directly from the Medicom Toys site, which gives us a much clearer indication of the figure itself. Let me bump that up so you can see it more clearly. There we are. So yeah, as you can see here, a much better image of what's to come. And just to kind of catch you guys up, if you are unaware, there's no shame in it. You may not be too familiar with this version of Spider-Man. This is Ben Reilly, who, although he was introduced in an earlier arc, he was killed off and then brought back. So this version of the character, who is also known as the Scarlet Spider, which I'm sure many more of you will know. So he's a clone of Peter Parker. He was engineered by the Jackal in the Marvel comic arc, which did run from 1994 till 1996. So again, it's Medicom diving into the 90s when it comes to sources for their MAFEX line, and there's really no complaints for us, especially, as I say, the Batman as well, the Nightfall Batman. The colors on that guy really pop. And again, it's a variation. And again, I think with this guy here, you know, it's variation, a figure that is a little bit off from the mainstream. You know, we're used to getting the Peter Parkers, so it's nice to get something a little bit different. So let me just dive through the basics. This guy is scheduled for release in September 2021. Now, I know at the minute there is some contention with the current Spider-Man figures, particularly from Into the Spider-Verse. People are a little bit upset or a little bit, you know, kind of confused as to why they haven't released so far. And we do get quite a lot of questions in our DMs and comments over on Instagram, particularly of people asking us, you know, when are they coming out? When is Miles out? When is Peter B. Parker out? All we can really go off of is what is available on the Medicom Toys site, and at the moment it's still December. I know it has been pushed back slightly, so people are saying, oh well, you know, they got pushed back, so surely this, you know, this one of the Batman will get pushed back as well. You know, we can't tell at this stage. All we can go on is what we have, and that is a release date of September 2021. So just under a year to wait, and hopefully, you know, it won't be much longer than that. The price of this guy, so his listed price is slightly down on the Batman one. So this guy is listed for 7,800 yen, which again, put that through a very basic currency converter, and you arrive at a price of $78 or £75 if you're here in the glorious UK, such as I am. So as I say, it's just straight up conversions. Obviously, you know, they're not going to be exact figures when it comes to conversions, but you know, in that ballpark. So if you picked up the previous version of the MAFEX Spider-Man or the comic paint version, then it's going to be in that same sort of price bracket. So as I say, slightly down on the Batman. I think that mainly is because there is, you know, as you can see, no cape, no cloth element. But what do you get? Well, as you can see from this image here, if I bring it back, here we are. So you get two masked portraits. Let me enlarge that so you can see a bit clearer. So you get two masked portraits here, again, with the eyes carrying all of the expression. So a bit more of a concerned look here in the middle. And then you do get this blonde, this luscious blonde locks of the unmasked Ben Reilly sculpt. Now, this really does give Medicom a lot of license, because, as I say, Ben Reilly being a clone of Peter Parker, it means they can just go straight in and use their existing sculpt of Peter Parker, which they have already. So, you know, that's fantastic, you know, for them. So yes, we're getting the same sculpt. but technically is another character, so you can't really, rag on them too hard for reusing sculpts. But the thing to point out here as well is the body, the sculpting on the body is different. Some people have said, "Oh, is it the same base body?" And yes, the actual main base body, the elements are the same, but it's the sculpting on top of that to pick out the areas of detail which does differentiate this from, as I say, the previous comic Spider-Man releases. So what else you get? Well, you get the webbing effects, again, standard fare. You can kind of see it here in this image coming out of his left hand, and again trailing behind him here. So standard fare when it comes to Spider-Man figures from Medicom Toys, that they always do include some webbing, and therefore they're going to include alternate hands, as you can see at play here. Even getting the details here, the red ribbing around through the fingers and leaving the middle two blue. So again, it's nice nuance, some nice little additional detail. I don't know how well you can see it on the screen, but there is some nice shading going along here. You can see on the definition of the calf muscles and up here on the thighs as well. There's some nice shading elements at play here as well. And you can see here where the actual spider symbol is sculpted onto the actual chest rather than it being painted. It is sculpted directly onto it. So again, yes, they're reusing the underbody, but then, working on top of it. So there isn't too much more to say really at this point. These are the images that we do have. As I say, September 2021, that is the date of which this guy is slated to come out. If that changes, we will let you know. Hopefully we'll start seeing next year, when conventions kind of get back into sense of normality, we can start seeing some prototype of these guys out on display. That has been sorely lacking, really, I'd say, this last 6 months. We haven't really been able to see too much from any of the companies showing off their prototypes, apart from perhaps the big guys like Sideshow, who've been able to host their own conventions. Fingers crossed we will get to see prototypes of this guy. If we have any update on release dates, not only for this, but also for the Into the Spider-Verse Batman. Into the Spider-Verse Batman, wow, that's a crossover. Into the Spider-Verse Spider-Man figures. Of course, Miles, Gwen, and Peter B. Parker, we will update you. And the place we'll do that is the same place as ever. It is excludemagazine.com or via @excludemagazine on social media. That's going to bring us to a close on today's quick video. As I say, just going over the news from Medicom today. If you enjoyed today's video, please do leave a like. Let us know your thoughts on this guy down in the comments below. Do subscribe to our platform as well. It just helps keep everything ticking along. It's always spin and plate. It's always a game of trying to balance coverage on social media, the website, and also finding time to sit down and just go through it here on YouTube. So we do appreciate all your views, all of your support here. That's going to bring it to an end. I've been Jack as ever. Thank you for dropping by the YouTube Exclude Magazine platform. Thank you, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers, guys.